Hey, ladies and gents, thank you so much for chiming in on today's online webinar for the International Flight Campaign. Many of you got the email, and so you've been on the call with the CEO, David Manning. You see that we truly are a company of destiny. Guys, we're at the right place at the right time. But I wanted to make sure that we did have this particular webinar because we will open up for questions. So if you do have questions at the end, I do want you to ask them. What I want to do is, guys, I've been waiting to get to this training, this particular training right here. And we're going to show you how to launch or relaunch your business. And so having said that, guys, I want to just kind of touch on a few points. I want to make sure we really bring it home, Charles. Caroline, I want to make sure that you really get an understanding. Some of you have seen this training before. Obviously, I've done some short modifications to it. But guys, what we want to do is now we want to execute. Again, Marcy, what happens is we laid the foundation. You know, for the last 15 days, 2 weeks, we've really laid the foundation. Well, now it's time for us to actually do the work. And so having said that, I wanted to make sure that you had the foundation. So now that when we begin to really launch your business, you know what you need to do, and we could go forward and we can begin to maximize it. Guys, one of the things I'm going to do, and I thought about even playing it while you're on the webinar. I thought about playing it so that you can hear it and we could talk about it. But Eric Worre, he's the founder of Network Marketing Pro. He had an event. He had the top income earner in network marketing come in and share his philosophy. And one of the things he talked about, this gentleman is making over $1 million a month. I think 1.6 million. So he's one of the top income earners in the industry of network marketing. Again, he's in another company, so I'm not endorsing his company. I'm not promoting his product. I'm 100% with Vacation. But the information is so compelling because, again, I'm saying, man, if we want what he has, how many know we got to do what he's done? And even if you don't want $1 million a month, what if you just want $100,000 a month or whatever it is, guys? There's something into if I knew what he did, if I knew the secret. So I want to encourage you, number one, to go watch that video. Again, on YouTube, I said it before, it's one session. The whole session is an hour and 30 minutes, an hour, but the session I really want you to focus on is 10 minutes. And so, Don, what I want us to understand is, as he talks about in the video, and I'm just going to kind of touch on a couple of notes, and I'm going to get to the presentation. He said there's a difference between starting your business and launching your business. He said amateurs will start their business. And guys, we're not amateurs. We're going to be professionals. You know, professionals launch their business. And I love his example. He said, I was taking notes. He said Microsoft launched the Xbox. When you think about the Galaxy, they launched the Note 4, or the iPhone, they launched the iPhone 6. See, guys, it was a big, big deal. They didn't just start it. They didn't just, they launched. They had anticipation. You know, people got excited about it. Nike launches Air Jordans. During the holidays, there's a lot of things that people are excited to get. And I need that to be your mindset. And so the difference, again, and you've heard me say this over and over, between the amateur and the professional is an amateur is one who, you know, they're novice. They don't really get paid. They're going through the motions. And I think too many people within Vacation, they the status of amateur. But the difference between amateur and professional, they do the same thing, but one gets paid. That's why we really made the focus on when I heard his, I was like, man, that's so profound. Because as a professional, you don't start anything. You want to launch. And guys, we're going to relaunch. See, we've already been in, guys. We're going into a new year, but we're not going to wait until the new year. We're going to really relaunch. And so one quote I got from a gentleman, he told me that amateurs do it till they get it right, whereas professionals do it till they can't get it wrong. And so, again, we want to show you how to get paid. Again, I'm not going to tell you some haircuts you haven't heard before, but we're really going to drive home this point, Vanita, because what we want truly is it's time to relaunch our business. And so you paid 20. I mean, you know that. I don't have to really read it. But, guys, I'm so committed to the IFC. I go to bed thinking about it, dreaming about it. I'm like, man, they got to get it. They got to get. And again, I'm starting to say, man, maybe international is too small. Maybe I set the goal too low. But here's what I will tell you is this. You can always exceed it, but that's the minimum. And so one of the things he also talked about in the video, and I added this, is we got to put in the work. He said, you know, you got to put in the work. You know, and see, so guys, what we're going to do is right now it's about the activity. A lot of times we talk about earlier presentations, people try to figure out how can I do the minimum but get these great results. And I'll just tell you up front, it doesn't happen. You know, for those who are believers, there's a scripture in Corinthians that says that he who sows little should expect little, but he who sows a lot should expect a lot. So I want to tell you up front so there's no miscommunication, that there's no misunderstanding. Guys, if you want to get maximum results, if you want to get something you never had, you're going to have to do something you've never done. And that's going to be required with the work. And so, Tawanda, I'm excited. We got to be willing to go do the work. And that's why you're on this call. Now, what I do want to talk about, because some of you hadn't seen this presentation before, you know, I need you to look at vacation differently. Yeah, we're in network marketing. We really are. And network marketing has made more millionaires, more successful people than any other industry. But I need you to look at it, not only we're in network marketing, but we're doing business and big business. And I need you to treat it as if you were opening up a physical building, something, a physical business. You know, I actually live in Atlanta, Georgia, in a community called Atlantic Station. And then this, you know, so if I walk outside, there's stores all around me, and I can see Ann Taylor, and I can see Pandora, and I can see Joseph A. Banks, and I see these stores. But I think about it, when these stores was getting ready to open up, first of all, they put a sign out there that said coming soon. The second thing is they said now hiring. And they begin to get their team in place before they ever open the doors. Please don't miss that one. They begin to put the team in place before they really open the doors. See, if you look at any business, whether you're talking about a daycare, a barbershop, a salon, anything, I don't care what the business is. If you're going to live your dreams, you got to put together a team. And guys, I need this to be your mindset. You got to understand, yes, there's two sides to vacation. There's extreme and there's vacation. He did a great job explaining it. But right now, the focus is us opening up the outlets. See, guys, you wouldn't open up your store and let people come in without having your staff in place and making sure they're trained and equipped and prepared. That's what we spent the last 2 weeks doing, making sure that you were equipped and prepared. You know, so that's what I need you to understand. Now it's time for us to open up and do the work. So having said that, our launch is going to be similar to a space shuttle. If you think about the space shuttle, and I have a video, but I'm not going to play it, you know, 80% of the fuel is used to get that space shuttle in the air, to really get it to launch. Guys, I'm going to tell you, you got to put a lot of work in the beginning. You got to put a lot of work up front. You got to put in the effort up front. And that's what I really want you to understand. That's why you had to make the list. You know, that's why I said don't worry about calling about it right now. That's why you had to make the list. You had to have 100 names minimum. Because, guys, what you're going to understand is this. We're about to do a lot of work in a short period of time. We're about to do something what they call collapsed time frames. Collapsing time frames simply means what your goal is for 30 days, you're going to do it in a week. Collapsing time frames may mean what your weekly goal was, you're going to focus on doing it in a day. And, guys, I'm talking about the time that you're scheduled to work. I'm not talking about, you know, but when you're scheduled to work, many of you are part-time. That's not what you do full-time. But you can give the hours that you work full-time effort. You can give the hours that you're scheduled to work. You can give it full-time effort. And so, Roderick, what I need us to understand is we got to go put everything we got into it. We can't just tap at it. We got to put everything we got, Michelle, into it. And so, Nicoya, what I understand is once we get it off the ground, it's going to take off. Now, having said that, another example, same thing, but I like using this example, is similar to an airplane. An airplane has to get to 150 miles of speed before it takes off the ground. See, Shauna, what those pilots understand, and that's why they go through the demonstration. They make sure that you're equipped. So when they get it to the runway, all right, when it's right at the top of the runway, guys, they put those engines back full throttle. You can feel you'll go back, right? But why? Because they understand it has to get up to a certain speed. They got to exert a lot of energy up front. But once it gets to a certain speed, through lift, it's going to take off. And guys, I want you to understand, I really want to set the tone that if you are willing to just lock in and put in the work, you put in the work, you know, for a short period of time and just really put in the work, put engines back full throttle, but give it everything you got, guys, your business is going to take off. It'll be like something you've never seen. So I want you to understand, I want everybody to understand I'm talking about the work. You got to do more in the beginning than it appears that you're getting paid for. But that's the only way, Lucretia, you're going to get paid for more than what you do. See, I need you to understand that this is what has to happen. It's not, okay, well, let me see. No. You got to black out. You got to go to this place. You are going to have to do the work. And again, I will open up this call for questions later. But I'm going to also kind of reference what Mr. Holton Buggs talked about. And so, having said that, I put another slide in here I want to touch on real quick. Now, when you're on that plane, there's a flight attendant, male or female, and if you ever, they do a safety instruction on every plane, and they read those instructions. They say, in case of emergency, an oxygen mask will deploy, and they encourage you to put the oxygen mask on, and they tell you to put it on first before you help your neighbors. Now, I put this in here because I need you to understand the principle. Guys, I need everybody to see the mistake a lot of people make is they put somebody in and they say, well, I'm helping my team. And you hadn't done enough work up front. The plane ain't take off the ground yet, but you're trying to, I'm helping my team. And you get into what's called the management trap. And I've seen so many people it happen. You have to secure your mask first. Now, why is that important? Because here's what's understood. If you can't breathe, you can't help nobody else. Let me bring it to where you are. They say put your mask on first before helping your children. They're telling you, listen, you can't help somebody else unless you first have it yourself. The best way you help the poor is not become one of them. See, guys, the best way you can help your team is by being the example, being the master copy. So you gotta go for it. You gotta hit your goals. We all started over. We all have to go back to executive, regional executive, national, because we're going to go international. It didn't really matter. I don't want you to focus on, I already got, I just need 3 more people. No. I want everybody to reset the button, and we're going to go back from ground zero, and we're going to hit international. So having said that, what you got to do is show your team what to do, not tell them. Everybody want to tell, all right, this what you, no. We're going to show them. We're going to demonstrate. You got to focus on getting your promotions. You got to go get your 3, then your 6, then your 10. Why? Because, see, most people, they stop. I'm trying to help my team. No. The best way you help your team is to show and demonstrate to your team. Your team's got to see, guess what? I put somebody in. I just put somebody in. You're going to teach them what to do by showing them what to do. Now that we hit that point, let's go forward. So having said that, I'm going to intertwine these numbers, what I heard Hilton Bug say on the video, because I took notes. Although I had this presentation, guys, I took notes. I was so inspired. But this has come from him. He's given us 10 steps on how to successfully launch our business. And the first part, just a quick review, you got to make a long list. Guys, you all did this. You know, in order for you to be a part of IFC, you had to come up with at least 100 names. Some of you did 200, some of you did more. But you had to come up with at least 100 names. And guess what? The focus was to do that. Now, our goal is over the next 30 days, we want to go through your entire list. See, guess what? When we get ready to contact your list, some people are going to be interested. Some you're going to leave messages. Guys, what I'm saying is don't get focused on people saying yes or no. Focus on just doing the numbers. That's what I need you to hear. Don't get focused on, well, oh, no, they're thinking about it. Look, you got to be talking to so many people that literally that's why you had the tracking sheet. You know, that's why you had to have a tracking sheet, because you got a list of 100 names and you can be contacting so many people. Hey, this is Shutter. Call me back. They don't pick up the phone. Now, listen, let me give you some instructions. So take notes. When we get ready to go through this list, your posture, you can be ready and know what to say. But let's say you get an answer machine. Do not leave. I was calling because I want to tell you, but don't do that. Don't try to tell them what you was calling for. Just simply high pitch, high energy. Hey, this is Tawanda. Call me back. All right, I'll talk to you soon. See, they'll call you back if you leave a little desire. Well, I don't know why you called, but just call them excited and energetic. But don't try to leave a long message and tell them, well, I was calling because I want to tell you about this business. Don't do that. That's a no-no. Don't do that. Now, again, our purpose is we're talking about launching the business. So over the next 30 days, we're going to focus on contacting every single person you put on your list. We don't want you to say, well, they heard about it. Well, I talked to them before. No. All we was laying the foundation. Now it's time to do the work. Don't focus on, I got my new people. What do I? No. Guess what? We even record the video, so you can let them watch the same videos. It's time that you just black out and go put the work in. So the focus is you made the list. You graded the list, right? Now it's time for you to, over the next, and I'm going to say some people are going to focus on taking 30 days. Some are going to say, you know what? I'm going to collapse time frames. What I was going to do in 30 days, I'm going to do in 2 weeks. Some people are going to say, you know what I was going to do in 30 days, I'm going to do in 7 days. You got to put a lot of work in the beginning. That's why we took the first part talking about the energy and effort that has to go up front. Now, having said that, I'm going to make this point, and this is something you got to adjust. One of the points that we said is a person who's successful, a person that has credibility and influence. That's why we had you grade the list, because you're looking for champs, people who have children, homeowners, age 25 and older, mortgages. I mean, we can go on, but one of those qualities I told you to put on there was influential and credibility. See, when you find people who got influence and credibility, what happens is they have the ability to move people. Now, I'm putting this up front. I just want to be honest. Everybody will hit international. Everybody will hit international. But here's what I need you to understand. If you're the type of person that you do not have credibility, that you don't have influence, that if you can't get somebody to return your phone call, it's going to be difficult. Can it still be done? Absolutely. But I want to be very honest with you. If you can't get your own sister to let you come do a presentation, if you can't get none of your friends to let you at least look at what you're doing, I just want to be honest with you. It's not on the business. You have to work on your credibility. You have to work on your presentation. You got to see, people don't see you as successful now. That's nothing negative, guys. That's why I've been focused on you need to read, you need to develop, because as you become better on the inside, you're going to attract more people on the outside. But I got to be upfront and straight with you that if you don't have credibility, some people sit there and listen, everybody on their list is like a 2 and a 1. I'm like, hold up, man, it's going to be difficult. I ain't saying it can't be done. It can be done. It will be done. But I'm just telling you up front, if you don't have credibility and influence, if you can't pick up the phone and people call you back, then it's something else. Maybe you've been involved in 10 other things and they say, what you doing now? So you don't have any credibility. That is a factor. Now, again, I'm telling you up front, can it be done? Yes. Is it going to be more difficult? Yes. You're going to see some people say, oh, I put somebody in. You be like, man, what's wrong with me? Don't get focused on what's going on the left. Don't get focused on what's going on the right. You stay focused on going through your list, right? Now, having said that, let's go on. Again, well, I'm not going over this because you already did the list. You did the memory jogger. You took the 7 points. You already did this. Now, what we told you to do is isolate or grade your list. And in doing so, because you had a higher list, what I want you to do is you're going to go through the 100 names, but you need to focus. Focus forever on course until successful. You need to intently, you qualified your list, and now you need to focus on the people who you really perceive or highly suspect will be a part of your leadership team. You never know, but these are people who already have a track record of success. These are people who already have influence and credibility. These are people who are movers and shakers. See, the higher the score, the more likely or the stronger chance you have to close them. That's why we had you grade the list. But we want a launch effect. We don't want the super effect. The super effect is dripping. We want you to do put a lot of people in a short period of time. So guys, you should really be thinking about who's your core team going to be. Yes, I got a list of 100 names. I got 150 names. I got 200 names. But at the end of the day, it's your leaders. Understand, at the end of the day, this is about the starting 5. Mr. Bradley would always tell me, he said, Shedrick, he talked to a Hall of Famer. His name was Lou Brock in our former company. And Lou Brock told him it was about the starting 5. Who's your core team? See, I'm not just focused on the masses. I'm focused on leaders. Leaders beget other leaders. So guess what? When you see let's say Mark Sterling. Mark Sterling in record time hit National Diamond. I'm so proud of what he's done. But understand, he was looking for influential people. He was looking for networkers. And again, he came from networking. So again, that may not be your circle, but you got to look for people who you got to recruit up. Many of you scared to recruit up, but I'm telling you, if you want to be successful, if you got to find people who have influence and credibility. So again, what it says, get with your leader. Now I've had several people say, Shedrick, who's my leader? Am I going to be assigned to somebody? Absolutely. But what I want you to understand is we're going to get with your leader and we're going to paint a picture. See, on the video, when you watch this video, you're going to hear that Holdenberg started out with 32 people that he called. He had 16 people who showed up on his first conference call. So you already had influence with him. Out of the 32, he said 16 was on his first conference call. I wrote it down. He said he called him and talked to him and told him, listen, I'm launching tomorrow. I'm launching a major project tomorrow. If you want to know what I'm doing, get on this call. That's what he said to all 32. So he made 32 calls, and 16 showed up the first hour at 10 o'clock. And then at 10 o'clock, he told them, painted a picture, shared with him what he was doing, didn't go into a lot of detail, but they all said, okay, well, we in. Because, again, he had credibility and influence. Out of that second group, what happened, he had 125. He told them, listen, put 10 people. If I was you, I would get 10 people on this call. He didn't go over a lot of stuff, but he told me I would get 10 people on this call. They said, 10 people? When, next Tuesday? He said, no, in an hour and a half at 12 o'clock. And on the video, you'll see it yourself. They said 12 o'clock. Yeah, you're already in, so I got to go. I have to still make more phone calls. So understand what he did was, yes, he had those 12 or those 16 who all agreed, I'm in. Well, what are we doing? I'm in. But he made more phone calls. And he said then he got back on the call at 12 p.m. And based on his 16 plus the people he put on, it was 125 people on that second call an hour and a half later. Because it wasn't just him, but he was still making phone calls. He didn't go say, all right, y'all do it. That's my point about securing your mass. He said, no. He had to make more phone calls. He was still calling people. And so guess what? At 12 o'clock, 125 people. He told them the same thing, painted the picture, shared his vision. And guess what? It went from 125 to 2 o'clock, 225 people. He told them the same thing, shared the vision, told them, hey, I'll put 10 people on the call. They turned around and did it, but guess what? He had 435 people on that 4 o'clock call. So guys, you got to understand, if you add up the numbers, just the 16, the 125, that's over 700 people on a conference call in the span of 6 hours. Guys, that's what I'm talking about. A lot of effort in the beginning. Now, that may not be your numbers. Again, he was a networker. But guys, you can't do 1 and 2 and onesies and fusies and think that you're going to make major impact. You're going to have to put a lot of energy in a short period of time, right? And so another thing that says, be a part of your core. Now, we gave you this sheet. It has an IFC logo on it, but it's the same sheet. And what we told you to do is take and isolate your key leaders. So just like he had 16 people, you might have to call 20, 25 people, but who are your core people that you're saying, listen, I'm launching, I'm relaunching. You know, who are those key people that you can call and you can get them on a conference call? The good news is you're not going to have to do the conference calls yourself, because we're going to set up where, guess what? We're going to set up and put in the back office. I'm doing IFC. We're going to be having calls, and I'm full-time. So guess what? You may be at work. You may not be able to get on every call, but you can be able to intently get people on these calls. So what you got to focus on doing, and I'm telling you, put them in pencil. Because guess what? You should have did a list of 100 names, 200 names. So guess what? Now the focus is, don't worry about their silhouettes. There's one for a woman, one for a man. You can put your name up at the top. But everybody on this line is relaunching. Everybody we're going to relaunch. So having said that, you're going to focus. What I tell you is put them in pencil. So if I call, and I'm just going to use an example. If I go through and I call Gwen Noble and I say, Gwen, listen, I'm launching a major project. You know, I'm launching. If you want to know what it is, I need you to get on this call. Gwen's going to get on it. She's not. I'm going to call Gregory Sears. I'm going to say, Greg, listen, you know, I'm launching a major project. I'm super, super excited. I'm having a call in an hour and a half. If you want to know what it is, I need you to get on. He's either getting on or he's not. I'm going through my list. Gail, hey, I'm launching. Either she's getting on or she's not. I'm not going to stop to find out. I'm not taking no time to say, well, no. I'm going through my list. I'm calling Eric, and I'm calling key people, and they're going to get on. Now, when they get on, because I initiated it, guess what? We're going to share the vision. We're going to tell them why we're doing the call, what's about to happen, so forth and so on. They're either going to determine I'm getting in or I'm not. See, what I heard Holden Bugg say, he didn't go through a whole bunch. He explained what he was doing. He had credibility and influence because he had success before. So having said that, those 16 people turned around, and guess what? They began to make phone calls. And having said that, that's where that 125 people came from. I just want to paint a picture and slow it down so when you listen to it, you understand that he didn't go get 125 people, but the 16 plus him calling more people collectively made 125 people. And David Manning always says a crowd breeds a crowd. See, that's why, yeah, you can do one-on-ones. Yes, you can do, but you're not going to be able to compete with somebody who's doing a conference call and putting 10 people, 15, 20 people on a call. But imagine all of us take our energy together. And all of a sudden, you may only have 2 people show up, but if they go on a call and it's got 80 people on it, they don't know that those ain't your 80 people. All they know is, oh my goodness, something's happening. I want to be a part of it. So guys, I need you to understand what's about to happen. So they got to understand when you call them, this is not business as usual. They got to understand that Erica, something's different. I mean, I've never heard her like this. See, Denisha, they got to understand, I don't know, you ain't explained nothing, but you're serious. See, Deborah Taylor, they got to understand that, guess what? I don't want to miss it. I mean, something going on, but I don't want to miss it. So let's move on. Now, this is not different. It's just another example that when we first start calling people, we're looking for our board of directors. Now, we still got to go through the numbers. But it's something about isolating them. When I told you, kind of look for the key leaders. How you do one thing is how you do everything. See, I know that certain people are successful because you're successful in your corporate world. I mean, but what I'm saying is if you want to put all that effort into your corporate job, why not do it for yourself? Ms. Williams, why not be willing to put the work in for yourself? See, I'm looking for people who already have a track record of success. I'm not saying I won't call my aunt. I'm not saying I won't call my cousin. But if I know they slackers, I'll call them later. But the initial call, I'm separating my list. I'm isolating my list. I'm looking for the go-getters. Now, listen to me. They may not be a 7 on my list. They may be a 4. But if I know they're a go-getter, they get my phone call. Because I'm putting together a group. And you need to put together your management team. You need to put together your core group. I'm telling you, because, see, those 16 people were all leaders. That's why he was able to have 125 people, because he found people with influence and credibility who was able to also go out and attract other people. Now, if you take 10 duds and put them on, they say, well, I don't know nobody. Well, you got to understand you did it wrong. You got to find people who are going to be successful. You cannot take a donkey and win the Kentucky Derby. Miss Gwen can appreciate that because she's in Kentucky. They had a Kentucky Derby, and I promise you, you cannot take a donkey. You can't take somebody who just don't have it. So, guys, what I'm telling you is, yes, I know you want to, well, they want to travel. That ain't the person for your initial call. Please understand this. The people for your initial call, Marcy, they got to be people who will run. I'm not saying that, yes, we're not talking about no product. When we get on the phone call, we ain't talking, we're going to let them know the company, but we ain't talking about no travel. Travel is the byproduct. We're talking about people who want to make money. We're talking about people who want to change their quality of life. So, guys, it's got to be a seriousness in your voice. It's got to be a difference in your voice. So, let me help you with this. I'm going to spend just a little time on this, not a lot. You say, well, Shuddock, man, when you go over this, it helps me, but it kind of isolates my list. Absolutely. I want you to be intentional. Now, let me show you the character traits you don't want. I'm going to start with what you don't want first. People who are passive. They passive. They don't have any get up and go. They just, if it happens, it happens. They're passive. People who are indecisive. They can't make a decision. I mean, even if you show them the business makes sense, well, I need to think about it. I need to go talk to my husband. I need to go talk to my wife. That ain't, no. I need somebody, can you make a decision today? Selfish. When I say selfish, yeah, they may have qualities, but I don't travel. I don't do nothing like that. It's not about, see, this business is not about you, but I'm just telling you, don't try to convince people. What I'm trying to show you on this list is some of us, we're trying to convince people who have these qualities to be other than what they are. What's wishy-washy? You call them, invite them on a call, they tell you they're showing up, but for whatever reason, they don't show up. And then you have another call, and you don't say they make it, you follow up with them, say, what'd you like? Oh, I wasn't able to get on. Okay, you say, well, listen, we have another call at 2. All right, I get on. They don't get on. Listen, guys, when a person tells you who they are, the late Maya Angelou says, believe them. Stop trying to take people who don't keep their word and keep trying to, well, I talked to them 5 times. Okay, listen, they've told you who they are. Stop it. Close-minded. Who's the person that's close-minded? You talk to them, hey, I'm launching a major project. Hey, if you want to know what it is, nah, I'm good. Listen, if they tell you they're good, you be good. What I'm saying is, guys, what I told you this earlier, your job is not to recruit anybody. Your job is to sift and sort. But I'm going to tell you, if you find people start exhibiting these characteristics or these quality traits, keep moving. If you talk to somebody and you let them know, look, I found a way we can make a fortune over the internet, and they say, I'm okay, I love my job, let them keep their job. That means they have an employee mentality. They don't think they can do anything outside of their job, and it's okay. You can't build a business with them anyway. Cynical, that's the one who they try to, oh, what you doing now? Okay, no. See, I want somebody, when I call and say I'm working on a project, and I need them to say, what we doing? Not ready to act, which that goes up to being indecisive, low self-esteem, easily influenced. See, guys, you know people, and some of you, that's the people you're trying to call to say, you got to look at this business. Stop it. Stop it. You got the Messiah complex that you figure, well, you know what, man, they really need this. No, they need too much self-development. I'm looking for people who are already successful. I'm looking for the real estate broker. I'm looking for the insurance agent. I'm looking for the top salesperson. I'm looking for the person who they want to know about. Well, I want to know the top, whatever they are. They're the best at whatever they do. If I walk into the barbershop and I say, who the best barber in here? I want the one that's cocky enough to say me. And you know what's funny? The other people going to say he is. That's a shame. But I want the best of the best. I want athletes. I want people who are competitive. I want people who got high self-esteem. I want the people who already run a business. And they may say, well, I do okay, but are you willing to go from being wealthy to doing okay? I want somebody who at least listens to what I'm saying. They may not join, but they're going to at least listen. They ain't going to miss an opportunity. They're aggressive. They want to know, go ahead and give me the information. What do I got to do? I want people who are business-minded, competitive. Oh, my goodness, I love competitive people. I love being around people who hate to lose, ready to act now. I see, guys, what I'm saying is, this is half the battle, who you call. You got to call a lot of people, but it's who you call. And again, you say, well, Shuddock, I don't know no people like that. Well, it's going to be tougher for you. We got to help you find some people like that. But the reality is, and how you're going to do that is through referrals. You're going to ask the people who you know, who do they know? Now, we're kind of bringing it home. But guys, the key to this, you got this list. The key to this is your belief and your posture. Please listen to me. When you contact individuals, when you call them, and I've told you this is not new, your list without your belief, without your posture is no good. It's when you call them, they got the sense that you believe, that you know, that you know, that you know, that you know. This ain't something you trying. This ain't something you hoping. This ain't something you praying. No, they got to know that you know. So see, you got to put an exclamation mark. If you got a question mark, you got to put an exclamation mark where you currently have a question mark. You got to know that this is an opportunity of a lifetime. You got to know that this is a shot for you to become wealthy. Now, it's not your source. He has to be your source. But you got to understand this is a vehicle that he's giving you that can take you to your wealthy place. But you got to believe that. You can't be double-minded. You can't be unstable in your ways. You can't be, well, I hope. No, no, no. See, if I don't believe that you convince, you can't never convince me if I don't believe you believe. If I know that you don't know that you know that you know, you may not know every answer, but you got to walk tall and be confident and be bold. Half the battle is your confidence. So guess what? If a person don't believe that they can do it, ain't nothing you can share with them. That's what I need you to understand. Some people, I don't believe that can happen. Okay. I'm not going to try to convince you. And guys, the greatest teacher I know in the world, he performed miracles, he healed people, but he said because of their unbelief, I couldn't do nothing. You can't do nothing with somebody that don't believe. I mean, I'm just trying to tell you, if he couldn't change them and they didn't believe, ain't nothing you can do. So stop trying to convince people who don't believe to believe. Just look for people who do believe. That was good. I don't care if you didn't get that was good for me. Now, listen. You already have relationships with these people. These are not people. That's why we had you do a list. These are not people, Eric, that you're looking for to say, you know, I'm not saying that you don't build friends, Facebook friends. I'm not saying that you don't invite people that you don't know on the call. But what I am telling you is if you look back in your repertoire, think about this. Well, I'm going to use myself as an example. When I was in high school, you know, I ran track, whether you know it or not. I ran track, played basketball, played football. There was a group of individuals who ran track with me. You know, now some of them, you know, but I remember them, you know, they were very competitive. There was one guy in particular. I mean, he almost went to the Olympics. And I'm like, you know what? I need to give him a call. Hit him up on Facebook today. You know, when I went to college, my class, my roommate, I mean, we used to, in practice, we would race all the time. I mean, we was roommates, but we would race all the time. There was a group of people I hung out with. What I'm saying is, how you do, I'm looking at people who I already know basically got a track record of success. I'm looking for people who, when I worked in the restaurant industry, I'm looking for people who were successful. So when we say posture is the key, it ain't you yelling at people. That's not what posture is. It's not that you're beating people down. That's not what posture is. It's your confidence. You say, listen, I'm working on a major project. I'm putting it, Mr. Bradley, his words, I'm putting together the baddest team that's ever been formed. Listen, I couldn't think of putting together this team without you being a part of it. They're like, really? Why? Because they also got to know that sharing you got it going on. They got to know, sharing what I know about you, that if you're about to do something, I want to be a part of it. That's why Houghton Brothers was successful, because they understood, okay, what you about to do? I want to be a part of it. I don't want to miss this one. See, so what I'm telling you guys, you got to talk from your heart. What do I say? I'm not going to tell you verbatim what to say. Some people you're going to call and say, listen, you know, we got an unspoken rule of thumb that if I ever found it, if you ever found something that can change our lives, you're going to call me. They said, yeah. If I find something that's going to change our lives, I'm going to call you. They said, yeah. I'm going to say, Sharon, this that call. For real? See, guys, I'm telling you, you got to posture up. You got to paint a picture of where you're going. What's your vision? What you're doing? And so having said that, when you call people, that's the key. Now, this is one that, again, you got to learn. This is a comfort phrase. This is a comfort phrase. But guess what? You get so good you don't sound like it's scripted. But I heard Spencer Iverson say this. They translated it because they came from this project where Mr. Bugs was making over $1 million. They came over. So that should tell you something. If they left that project to come here, that should tell you something. I mean, I don't care. You got to understand this. If Mark Sterling left, who was making 5 figures, and came over here, you got to ask yourself, what did he see? Why is he running so fast? If Spencer Iverson and Jonathan Green, some of these other individuals who was involved with another company, if you had a guy that came from Wake Up Now to hit executive diamond in 24 days or whatever, 24 days, what do they see? Why do they see it but you don't? Why are they running so hard? And why are you sitting there like, well, no. Guys, listen. So I love they came over here and guess what they told us, what they saying. They asked the people, listen, knowing what you know about Expedia, would you invested 10 years ago? Or no, I think they used Priceline. But knowing what you know about Priceline, you can use any of them, any of the big three. Because all of you would say yes. I got something bigger. I'm working on a special project. I'm having a special conference call tonight, today. Guess what? How often can you say that over and over and over and over and over? You know, is one I learned a while ago, but I would ask people, you know, but you got to feel comfortable. Sandra, you got to feel comfortable when you say it. You can't, what did I say? No. Rhonda, you got to feel comfortable, but you got to say the same thing. If it was possible for you to earn a 6-figure income part-time, your first year in business, where you selling travel franchise, let me ask you, would you be worth 30 minutes of your time to see if you qualify? I mean, you got to find which one you like. Hey, if I find a way we can make a fortune over the internet. So when you listen to the audio tape, when you listen to you're going to hear what he said. But guys, guess what? The main thing is, do you have enough credibility and influence that you can make call after call after call after call and get people with your posture to say, you know what? I'm at least going to listen to what you're talking about. Can you do that? Let's quickly move on. Now, what you're going to find out is, and this is an inviting, tell stories. I always tell people, what's your trailer? So a lot of times, even when you're talking to people, facts tell, but stories sell. You're going to tell them, I'm working with a guy who's very successful. This gentleman used to wait tables where he couldn't even afford to eat in the restaurants. Now this gentleman is making over 5 figures a month and living a dream life. You're going to tell about a young lady who used to be a single parent mom who worked in corporate America. She got laid off. So you got to tell the stories. You may say, well, because see, some people ask you, well, how's it going? Tell me, but you got to be able to tell the story. What's happening for somebody? You got to say, see, listen, man, look, we have an amazing growth. Man, I got a gentleman on my team who he just went in 4 months national diamond. For real? They don't even know what that is. Listen to me. Mark Sterling's success story is your success story. When you understand Ray, his success story is your success story. When you get these testimonies, that's your success story. And so you got to be able to, guess what? Share what's going on in the company. It don't matter if they're on your team or not. You got to be able to know how to share their story and not tell a story or lie or fabricate. Just give the basic facts. I typically don't get into the dollar amounts, but I can tell you this. There's a gentleman who's 24 years old who in his first week made over $4,000. For real? That may not be your story, but that's your trailer. See, if I tell you that, you got to know, you got to be able to ask, man, I want to know what it is. How do you do that? Don't miss this call. Don't miss the call. See, you got to be able to tell the story. Now, first mover's advantage. This is what Holden Bugg sold them on. You're the first people to hear about it. See, guys, you're relaunching. So you got to tell people confident. Look, I got about another 20. Look, you interested or not? I got about another 100 people I'm about to call. But listen, I want to give you a call first. I don't want you to say, why didn't you call me? It's about the first mover's advantage. It's about the fear of a missed opportunity. People will move off of, they'll respond off of a fear of a missed opportunity. I don't want to miss this. There'll be people that will sign up. They may not know that they know, but when they hear all these people chiming in on the call, they can be like, But listen to me. You ain't got to lie and over sensationalize. Don't lie to people. Do not lie to people, because your character is all you got. Your integrity. Don't sit and don't purposely mistake stuff. That's why you don't have to work, get into a lot of figures and so forth. It's already, people say it's too good to be true. It already sounds too good to be true. But guess what? Don't ever put your character at stake where you got to lie to somebody for the sake of making a sale. Because once they find out, they don't trust you anyway, and they ain't going to do business with you. So I'm telling you, your integrity is of most importance. Now, take responsibility. Now, let's quickly move on. Name your launch. This is big. Guys, name your launch. See, name your launch. Don't just own it. No. See, Holden Bugg, and this is what I appreciate. He said that his goal is in his first 30 days to put 5,000 people in the system. And I was like, oh my God, I'm thinking too small. But again, I learned from him, like, I get it. So I remember when Spencer first came in, he was on a conference call. Their launch was called Project 2000. I'm saying, See, you can learn from other people. And guess what? You got to still call it. You got to call it. You can't be scared to say Project 100, Project 250, Project 350. See, everybody that you talk to, you got to believe it. And you got to be, when you talk to them, that's what you got to talk in reference to, this is what we're going to do. This is what's going to happen with or without you. I want you to be a part of it, but it's going to happen whether you want it or not. It's going to happen. Not I'm thinking it's going to happen. Not I'm hoping it's going to happen. No, it's going to happen. And so, Lecture, what happens is you got to talk boldly to people. They got to understand, what's your campaign called? And it's okay. See, get it. Now watch this. Because when you believe, everybody you bring on, they're going to know they're part of this project. See, everybody who came on with Mr. Houghton when he first started understood they was a part of bringing 5,000 people in. And so I don't know what your number is. Again, but you got to be bought in, and then the people that you share with will buy into your vision 100%. So you're going to develop a launch within a launch. Let me give you an example. I'm looking at the screen so I can see. Let's just case in point. Let's say Miss Marcia Crawford said my project, my relaunch is going to be Project 250 or Project 300. Well, guess what? Because she brought in the phenomenal leader, Miss Lutcher Lewis. Lutcher may say, look, my project out of that 300, I'm going to bring in 150. That's great because she has a project within a project. It's not taken away. It's just, guess what? Now listen to me. Set a beginning date. See, at some point you got to have a beginning and an end date. We're launching on this date. I just did this about maybe 3 weeks ago, and we told people you can fill in the application, but you couldn't sign up today if you wanted to. You can make your commitment. You can fill in your application. You can get your spot, but you couldn't sign up today if you wanted to. Now, some people you don't have the discipline because, I got somebody I want to sign them up today. That's fine. But I'm gonna tell you this: I'm launching. I'm doing applications, and guess what? When we launch, we put them in. They're gonna roll. But So when you see people come in, I'm just being honest with you. When you see people come in and you say, how did they hit that? How did they hit that so fast? That's because they was gathering the people. They was putting together a team. Before the doors opened, they didn't open the doors and then say, okay, let me get the people trained. No, they begin to get the people in. They weren't doing a whole bunch of training. They may take your CTC training. They may take you through the 4 steps. And that's what's so great. We all can plug in and do the same 4 steps. Guess what? We're telling them, go through your back office. It's already recorded. It's in the back office. So when you bring people in, what we're all doing is the 4 steps. But I'm giving you this as a background so you can understand when somebody comes in, now they're launching. They plugged into the calls that take place. So having said that, let's quickly wrap up. Your launch, and what I said, this is a series of 30 days. It's actually 90 days. Remember, okay, shut it. Make sure you understand this. The actual time is we started December 1st, and you know your ending date is February 28th. That's 90 days. But you want to set 30-day increments. So you want to, over the next 30 days, this is what's going to happen. Now, you want to have 3 different dates. You want to have a 7-day goal. You want to have, your first week goal, your 2-week goal, and your first 30-day goal. See, we're all relaunching, so guess what? That's your story. You get to set the reset button. So it don't really matter, I've been in a year. No. Guess what? I'm relaunching. I'm launching. This is going to be huge. This is going to be big. I'm putting together my core team. So guess what? We all want to have a 7-day goal. What's going to be our 7-day story? Man, Ray Arnold made over $4,000 his first 7 days. Is that exciting or what? Now, I ain't saying you're going to do the same thing, but what if you made 2? What if you made 3? Right? Now, commit to 30 days and run as fast as you can. But having said that, duplication is the key. Everybody you put in, guess what? You need to be helping them launch. You need to help them launch. So, now, this is what we talked about earlier. If a person's going to be a part of your core team, that initial, they got to be doing exposures, and you got to show them the different exposures. What I encourage you to do for them, guess what? They should be coming to your travel party so they should know how to do one. Maybe you may sit down with a one-on-one, do a flip chart. You may put them on a launch call, but what you do is what they're going to do. You might walk them through the website. You may put them on a sizzle call. What I'm saying is, guess what? You got to have all-out massive action. But guess what? What if everybody that you brought in was having 30 to 40 exposures or more the first 30 days? You get the point? Again, this is just some of the tools that's already in your back office. There's a 3-minute sizzle call, the on-demand call. You got to become familiar with the tools. I'm not telling which tool to use. Is one better than the other one? I'm just saying there's a lot of tools and resources. What I love is the 4-step system. You need to go through and watch it, get it clearly so you understand the PS3, understand the 18-month commitment, understand. But minimum, you got to do at least 4 exposures a week. That's one thing you do know. So I know it says 4 in a month. That don't apply to you. Minimum. At minimum, you got to do 4 a week, but some may do 4 a day. Now, accountability is the key. And this is what we talked about, Lucretia, Linda, about this program, accountability. We're never going to expect what we don't inspect. And so what we're going to do is hold you accountable as leaders, where you're going to have to put in your work. Put in what you did. We're measuring results, not intentions. We're measuring your results, not your, I tried. We don't try. As a matter of fact, that's a bad word. So in order for you to reach your goal, because you got to have a goal, you got to be held accountable. I will be doing some personal sessions and so forth, but what we're going to do is we're going to be launching. And guys, again, in the Facebook page, if you're not a part of it, you're going to see a lot of stuff I'm going to put there, as well as the website. I'm going to have updated on the website so that you can know, there's a conference call. If you can make it, get on it. If you can't make it, you can still plug people in it. But what you're going to have the confidence is, guess what? You plug them in there, I'm going to be doing the calls, or successful leaders will be doing the calls on your behalf. But I want you to get to where you can do the calls. See, I want to break that spirit of dependency on somebody else. No, I need you to be confident that you've heard it, where you're like, I can do that. You might record the call. You might transcribe, like what I did with Colton Bug's video. I said and took it word for word. I'm just writing notes. But guess what? I want to do it for myself. I can teach it myself. I'll reference him. The first time, the second time after that, that's mine. So, we're going to be intentional. We're going to do applications. Let me just move on. Guys, you're going to set aggressive goals. Remember I said whatever your goal was for the month, you're going to do it in a week or 2 weeks, whatever your goal was in a week. So my goal may say we launching, and I'm going to say our launch date is December 1st. So that would be like 14 days. What's the holidays? Well, guess what? January 1st. I'll be right past December 1st. January 1st, New Year's. That's our launch date. New year, new way. So guys, we may tell everybody, we may be showing the business. We'll be doing conference calls back and forth. But we may say our launch date is January the 1st or really December 31st. So that way they get in before the new year. But guess what? I'm asking about, I'm saying, okay, and I'm going through and you can't answer. But I might say, Linda Hughes, I need 15 applications. Can I count on you? You say, Shedrick, I got it. I say, Don Ogden, I need 15 applications. Can I count on it? Charles Boyd, Charles Anderson, I'm going, just example. Carrie, Miss Gorham, Miss Carolyn Payton, Miss Belinda Harris, Miss Elise Williams, Miss Alfred Ingram, Mr. Alfred Ingram, Miss Adele. See, 15. And you say, I'll do it. Now, you might be focused on 20. Some may be focused on 25, but that's personal. But now you got to understand, because of what you're doing, your people are going to do the same thing. Now, if you're launching, you're doing the same thing. Now, what if you had 3 people in this program? What if you had 4 people in this program? And all of them were like, okay, I'm launching too. Guys, that's how you're going to hit every level real quick. Why? Because your people doing the same thing you're doing. You ain't got to sit there and babysit them. They focus on doing it themselves. You help them with 3 ways, but guess what? You got your own people you're talking to. So guys, you got to plan in your personal activity. You got to commit to your plan. You got to get with your core leaders. But the biggest thing is duplication. That's the biggest thing. That's where it's broken down. Duplication. Guess what? You need a monthly calendar. You need to have your schedule on your calendar. Yours. Then after you put yours on it, your core people, yes, but they got to develop their own. I may show you how to do the presentation the first time, the second time, but I'm expecting you to do it. Most of y'all fell in the trap where you keep doing the presentations for your whole team. And you've been doing the presentations for every week. And I'm saying, what point you going to let them do it? See, because if they can't do it and you got to do everybody's presentation, you just got a job. Now, measure results and hold your team accountable. Let's kind of wrap this up. This is the fun one. Oh, my goodness. First week, well, Shedrick, I've been in the business. Guess what? We're relaunching. So whenever we relaunch, if December 31st is our relaunch date, your first week don't start until that day. Why? Because if you gather applications, I'm going to tell you this. How Ray Arnold made $4,000, it wasn't he. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying he didn't add people, but he had a team of people that came with him, and they began to structure and strategize. I had a chance to meet this gentleman. Phenomenal young man. But guess what? They had people that went in, and those people that went in had people that went in. And those people who went in had people that went in. So guess what? We did the same thing when we launched. Mr. Bradley, Shanaza, and our first check was when we launched. My first day wasn't the 23rd. I knew about vacation. I studied the website, put together PowerPoints. When we launched my very first check, and it was at half the price, it was $2,155. That was my very first check. So guess what? If it was at the same price point, it would have been about $4,000. But guess what? That's what we did to have fast results. That's what Shanaza put 500 people in 27 days. It took me 37 days, but I had over 1,000 people in my first 30-something days because she had over 500. What I'm saying is when you launch and the people around you launching, she beat me the regional diamond. I don't care. Guys, what I'm saying is you'll have people that come in if they're running with you. That's how we put 4,000 people in the first 30 days because Mr. Bradley didn't launch by himself. We all were launching. So here's what I want you to understand. I got 2 more points. I'm wrapping up. Focus on getting your check, but getting your people a check. You got to first secure your mass first. So when you listen to the video, Holden Bugg said his first week, he wanted to make $70,000. I'm saying, Jesus. And I mean, pardon me, just in case somebody has a good belief, but I'm not apologizing for that. But what I am saying is I know this is just business. So here's what I need you to hear. He set a goal to make $70,000 his first week, but he was willing to go do the work, guys. You can't say, I would love to make that, but if you're not willing to do the work. So when you understand he exposed over 700 people his first day, and that was just the cause. I wasn't talking about the 4 meetings he did. I was like, it really helped me to really appreciate and understand the work it's going to take. But the longer it takes for your people to get a check, the quicker they're going to manually check out. So guess what? When you're bringing these individuals in and they're launching, and you say, listen, all you can do is go gather your people. You understand that you can be getting your people a check. See, the key to your success is how many people can you get checks. And you're going to help your people create a 30-day story. See, I believe with 30-day, with focus, all of you can be international in 30 days. I believe that. Because that means that you personally put 15 applications in, and out of those people you brought in, 3 of them got 10 people. See, people ain't going to quit a business they're making money in. That's how you're going to hit international. I'm telling you up front, you're going to be international if you follow this game plan. So having said that, guys, the rubber about to meet the road. I'm so excited I can hardly contain myself. But this is how you build trust with people. Get them a check. Put money in their pocket. But be the example first. You go be the example. You go put money in your pocket. You don't go talk about, well, I'm helping my team. No, you go do it first. See, Gwen, you got to make money. and then your team's going to do what you did. Having said that, let's wrap up. Everything's about duplication. Guys, duplication is the key. So that's why I love the 4-step system. It's recorded. Spencer Iverson, you need to listen to it. You need to listen to it. You got to get it. But good doesn't count, only duplication does. Guys, teach your team what to do. Why? By showing them. Now, this part I want to make sure I reiterate, stop handicapping your team. What I mean, when they come in, if a company hires you, they're expecting you to be able to learn and do the job. Why do you think that the people that you bring on are incapable of doing the job? Show them, be the example, but release them as soon as you can. Be the example, show them what to do, but listen, don't handicap your team. Stop doing everything for everybody on your team. And you wonder why I can't get a move. That's because you're doing everything. Make sure your teammates are equipped. Make sure they got the tools. I'm going to sign them. When we bring the application, I'm going to show you how to put it in. I'm going to tell you to take notes, but after I do it one time, maybe twice, I'm expecting you to do it. I'm going to invite you on a conference call, and once I invite you on, I'm going to say, what I say to you? All right, you go get your people. Teach them. Stop trying to handicap the people. But make sure they know where to get applications. Well, if you don't know, you can't teach them. Make sure they got the memory joggers. See, now that you got the IFC, it's not necessary that you try to sneak them on the calls. Just the things that we share with you, you share with them. Now, having said that, we're going to keep it super simple, guys. Everything is about keeping it simple. The simpler it is, the better it is. The more you try to complicate it, it should be very simple. So that concludes the presentation. I appreciate you getting on later to, but let me make a couple quick points. The website did go back up. So to get to the website is International Flight Campaign. I changed the name of it. It's internationalflightcampaign.com. So just spell out it together, International Flight Campaign. Now, the password is, I think it's capital I, small FC. I don't know why, he set up that way, but it's capital I, small f, lowercase FC, capital C for campaign, the lowercase AMPAIGH or whatever, GN, campaign, 2015. And I didn't set that up, the web designer did, but I had some people saying it doesn't work. No, it does work. It's just case sensitive. So you have to put in, I think it's a capital I, FC, lowercase, it's campaign starts, I put it back on the page. So just copy it and paste it and put it in there. You can pull down the documents. But keep it super simple. The website's up. What I'm going to do is, I haven't done it yet because I got to really calculate the cost to make sure that I can commit. I am committed, but what I'm saying is that the dates, I don't want to set up something and then be like, oh, I forgot I had this. I don't want to do that. So what I am going to do is set up some dates where I will have some launch calls. I may not do 4 a day, like 4 during the day, but I will do many, many launch calls. I am going to also have some meetings at my home. I'm going to be traveling around the country. But guys, I'm looking for leaders who can step up and say, you know what? I'm going to have me at 6 o'clock, at 7:30, at 8 o'clock, at 10 o'clock. And guess what? I'm inviting my leaders to bring their people. See, guys, you got to be the leader. You can't just sit and wait and say, okay, no, we're going to make sure you got assistants. I promise you, you're going to have assistants. You're going to have people to assist you. But guess what? If you sit there waiting for when it's coming instead of you being the one to initiate it, you didn't get it. You didn't get what I just shared. I need you to understand. I need you to take the fear of, well, what if I miss it? So what? You miss it. But you can't be scared to do it. You can't play passive. You can't. It's your time to go for it, guys. It's your time. And so I'm so excited and proud of each and every one of you. But what I'm going to do is open up to take any questions. Let's see. I'll stop recording, but I'm going to see if anybody has any questions. Okay, I have a question. I saw it. I just saw it. Miss Williams, you had a question? Monica Williams. Did you? No. Okay. I took your hand down. You keep hitting that button with your hand, so that's why it goes up. But I think you have a question, so don't hit it again. I just took it down. Let's see. Mr. Jason, you have a question?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay, my question, and this is the first time you've been able to see my question or see my hand. But anyway, okay, my question is, when we do the launch calls, like, when we're telling people, I'm going to do a launch call, like at this time, and then you also do another launch call, like what you were saying, do one at 2, one at 4, one at 6, what do we tell the people that we're going to, talk about for our launch calls? What do we say to them when we actually do a launch call?
Well, the first thing, I wouldn't encourage you to do the launch call. I would encourage you to plug your people on the launch call that I'm going to do. And then after you feel comfortable because you've heard me do the launch call, then only that do you break away and start doing your own call. You can't. Okay. I told you everything I'm going to do, I'm going to show you first. So I'm going to actually do a call. I'm going to put it up there. I'm going to set it up. Probably will have one in the next 48 hours that I'm going to do, maybe 2 or 3 back to back. And I'm going to give you enough time so you can get people on. But I want to get you equipped. So I don't want you to go out there and do a launch call yet. I want you to plug into the launch call I'm going to do. But what you can do is listen to that video that I put out there, even if you listen to it again, and you'll hear he kind of told you what he said, per se. But it's not in the words. It's in your posture. So right. That's really the key to the launch. Does that make sense?
Yes, that makes sense. That's why I was asking. I wasn't actually going to do a launch call right away. I just wanted to be sure, what we're supposed to say exactly.
No, I'm going to do the launch call first. I'm going to lead by the example and be the example, and also have other leaders such as Jackie, Shania. So we're going to put together a type of schedule, but we're going to do it, and all you got to do is plug people in. You got to, with a sense of urgency, have that posture to tell people, if you know what you know about Expedia, you got to be able to, that's what you got to get down and get people on the call. That's your ability to get people on the call. So you had, I think, like 500 people that you got back on the list. You got to be able to go through your list and get people to come take a look at what you're doing. Make sense?
Yes, makes perfect sense. Thank you for that.
You're welcome. Thank you. Anybody else got any questions? Let me see. Okay. I'm going to go back up and look one more time. Okay, Tim and Tracy McDowell. Tracy, you have a question? Okay, guess not. Just disappeared. Anybody else got a question? Okay, Shanquil Bay, you had a question?
Yes, sir. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Great. Just had a quick question. What do we know? Do we have a schedule for the launch calls that you all are going to put together or not yet?
I'm going to put them together. I'm going to get with them so that we can be consistent and have them. The main thing is, again, you got to get ready to start preparing. So we're going to put together the calls, at least for the IFC. Okay. So we will have a schedule so you'll know them. But like I said, probably within 48 hours, because I want to kind of get with their schedules and see what they can do. We can set it up and we'll be the example and do it for you guys. But we don't have a schedule as of yet.
And then for now though, we definitely starting this week should have our four appointments done every week starting this week, correct?
Oh, absolutely. And an appointment, and I'm glad you said that. And absolutely. And I'm working getting a sheet so you can put it out there and be able to go and electronically put it out there and keep track so that it's that what I'm working on is making it organized so that you can go put the information in and we can keep track and so forth. Because really I don't want people to cheat themselves. But to this point, if you get, let's say you make enough phone calls, you get 4 people on the launch call, guess what? You did your 4 appointments. I encourage people to do one-on-ones, but what I'm saying is piquing their interest is one thing, but showing the plan where they can see some form of. So if you get them on a launch call where they can hear a brief presentation, make a decision to say, I'm interested or I'm not interested. I really don't care if they get in or not. Eventually I care if they get in, but showing the plan. Piquing the interest, you might have to talk to 20 people to get to 4. But the key is you showed the plan to 4 people. So you may go set 4 appointments and go see 4 people. And let's say you set the appointment, but it canceled. We're not doing what I was supposed to do. You got to set enough appointments that you did 4 presentations or 4. You showed the plan 4 times. Make sense?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Thank you. Okay, I see another. Okay, let me see. Miss Sharon Combs.
Yes, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
The tools on the IFC page.
Mm-hmm.
Well, here, my first question is, the 3-way calls, do they, as long as it's a presentation, that does qualify as an appointment?
Yeah.
Okay. The second question is, I have a couple of people on my team who are not in the IFC.
Mm-hmm.
And the password will the password change, or because I want to share some of the information with them if I can.
Well, once you download it, you can send them whatever you want.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, and I said I don't mind people going to the site and so forth, but really, like I said, because you all, the password will eventually change, but right now the password is the same. I may have them change it so that it's not so difficult to remember. Is this a capital I? I will have them change it, but right now, just copy and paste it and put it in. But having said that, let me make sure people understand this. One quick point. I'm not trying to restrict anybody on my team. The more people on my team who understand or get the information or get the same teaching, the better. But because you all invested your money and your time, this line only holds 100 people. So if everybody went on here and try to put their whole team on it, somebody ain't getting on. And it's not fair to those people who was on time, who paid. So I'm not asking you to restrict it. You can share the webinar with them. I'm going to put all these webinars on the live. That's why I created a YouTube page. I'm not in any way restricted. They can get the same information and run with you. They just can't. The question, like right now, the live and calling them and say, well, can you do? No, y'all going to do the 3 ways. I'm not doing them. I'm going to help you all. The team's going to help you, but then you're going to be the leader that's helping your team. Does that make sense?
Okay. It does. Makes great sense. I understand.
Okay. Awesome.
I'm excited about it.
Good. Miss Shauna Garba. Hey, Shauna.
Hey, Mr. White. How you doing, sir?
Outstanding.
Good. My question is, I know if we put somebody, say, on a launch call, you were saying something about the applications.
Mm-hmm.
If they wanted to go run, they saw the launch call, and we haven't really put together applications to put them in. How do you, do you just go ahead and put them in and let them go, or how do we deal with that?
Well, the reality is, like I said, I'm going to be doing applications, and the application is the same applications in your back office. Again, if somebody wants to sign up, I would. Well, let me back up. I'm not going to put you in bondage to say you cannot put them in the system. But right. I'm saying the effect that you're going to get, that when you tell people, I've seen this where I had a group of people launching, and I told them, I said, listen, you can't even sign up today if you wanted to. I'm going to tell you what happened was, because we was launching, what it allowed people to do was feel more comfortable. Yes, they was hearing the information, they was excited, they wanted to be a part of the initial launch. But if the day we open the door, it's kind of like, let me finish my sentence, but it's kind of like what happened with the IFC. We created a date, but I'm going to tell you what happened. When I shut down the IFC, you should see how much demand I got.
Okay.
I'm going to be a part of it. And I'm telling you, a part of it is, it has to be something that's exclusive. That's a part of it. When I'm telling you, you can fill out an application. We got your application on file, but you can't sign up today if you wanted to. Sometimes people may want to sign up, but they don't have the money today. So right. The reality is, most people are like, okay, well, if you don't have a physical application, you got to know what's on the application. It's not necessarily you got to have the application. It's you got to know what's on the application, and you should be able to. But watch this. I can get your application, Shauna, and still take you through the process. And I will share with you, well, I want to see my site. Well, most of them, we ain't focused on book and travel. Yes, you're going to learn and do all that, but I want you to focus on being a part of my core team. That's why I spent time earlier. I'm not looking, well, I want to book this trip. Well, that's fine. Let the home office book it, but we need to build. And I need you to get 10 people on tonight's call. And you feel what I'm saying? So
I got you. Okay, I understand. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you. I'm going to take in 2 more questions if there are, and then we're going to shut down. Anybody else got a question? Anybody else got a question? Okay. Let me one more. Okay. I thought I saw one more hand. Let me look back through. Sharon Minden, I'm about to unmute your phone. Miss Minden, did you have a question? Sharon Minden, did you have a question? Okay. Okay. Well, that concludes tonight's. Hold up, Mr. Charles Boyd. Okay, Mr. Boyd, do you have a question? Nope. Okay. Well, guys, this concludes.